All right, now I am turning it over to our speaker musician for today, someone we are all familiar with, and if you're like me, love to hear his message because there's a lot of energy to it and a lot of insight. It's Mark Stanton Welch.
What a delight to be here. What a delight to have taken the drive from Cambria all the way here, and the many moods of the day showed up along the way. No fog in Cambria, in between there and Morro Bay, no fog. Then in Morro Bay, London fog. Moving through there, just down the hill into San Luis Obispo, clear as can be, all the mountains are beautiful and radiant, and then get into San Luis for a moment, foggy. And then it cleared. And then I got on 101, and I saw on the hill, as you come into this area, completely fogged in as well. Temporary. So moods, just moods, over and over. And opportunities to pay attention to driving a couple times. You know what I mean? So rather than just embracing all of that, a couple times I had to. Actually, good thing I didn't have a Tesla. So that always sets the frequency. So the frequency of the day is kind of a juxtaposition between worlds. And when I got called to do this, literally and figuratively, I usually in this time of year do something with the season fall because I'm a September baby, and I truly love the feel of the fall. And then when I started studying the energetics of it and realizing that the fall was when we started to go home, to go inward, to prepare ourselves for the winter where we hibernate with the old energies to clear and set intentions for spring. I love doing that, sharing that information, however it shows up. But something else came in, so much so it was very quick. And I actually forgot the title of today's talk. Is it on somewhere? Something about living as the design or living as the program. You choose. So I can look around the room and I see vibrant beings who are making choices to claim the greater truth of who you are. I hear the language of the room, the words that are spoken, how they're spoken, and I hear the design being honored. At the same time, somewhere along the way, we all got incarnated. We all left the cozy reality of that frequency and entered into the physical dimension. There were certain rules of the road in the days that we entered. And in that process, we began to absorb a lot of information that was telling us how to be. It was uninformed information in the big picture, but at the time, depending on what we incarnated into, it was the gospel. And if it was just family, that's one thing. But we started to move out into the world and embrace the life of school, the life of a religion, if we were a part of that. And all of these frequencies that basically laid out how we're supposed to be. So acceptance became a huge element, and compromising design to be accepted became in some ways a way to live. So here we are, X number of years later. A combination of the deeper truth that has always been there. Our template never left us at the point of incarnation. It just retired for a while, waiting to be noticed and called out. So I did my dance. I learned my lessons through the moments of living that were given. I learned about the idea of love and that about the energy that was actually very difficult in my setting. I learned about how it was manipulated and controlled and kind of forced to be a certain way, and that if I didn't show up to it, then there were consequences. I learned very quickly that people weren't going to share what I felt as feelings. What I felt was picking up energetically, looking for validation. They weren't able to do that. Hallelujah. And on the other hand, come on. So I brought all of that to the surface at the point where I became an adult, or as I grew, I played out what I learned. And in many ways, it served me well. It was great being a musician in San Luis Obispo at the time. A lot of fringe benefits from the whole thing. And it was vibrant and real. And at the same time, it felt empty as could be. And in a sense, it wasn't until somewhere in the 80s that I kept running into people and going, I really want some spiritual practice. And I kept running into people that said, go to Unity. So after 3 times, I went, okay, I'll go. I showed up one morning. It was New Member Sunday. I went, well, let me join. Why not? I didn't go through any protocol. I just stood there. And I had to volunteer something, so I took a risk and said, I'll do music. That changed everything for me. Because it took me writing poor me songs about growing up and everything that were vital and important, and it brought me back to a place of my template. And I began to hear words that affirmed the being that I knew I was, but it wasn't playing out. What I intend to do with that is really to remind you potent and magnificent beings about a greater truth, which I know you are. The challenge is that often in the moment, the pull of the old is very strong. And so I get pulled back to choices that I thought I'd left behind. I don't know how many New Thought people and how many beings who have been on the path all along got really disappointed in self because they didn't follow through on what they knew was true and did the old stuff. That's when I went into working with the inner child stuff. And inner child. There's a whole lot of variations of it. But what I found is that for me, it held the true template. So I had to befriend that little boy. And in order to do that, I had to walk back into some places that were, we'll call them fun for now. And I learned, see, it's just right on the surface. It's just always right there. The release of anything that's attached to the old belief system. It just comes up and says, bless you and thank you. And I bless it and thank it for getting me to this point in time. And yes, I no longer require it, need it, want it. But I can use it for sport. You always can. But why? So as I evolved in my process, in my path, through New Thought and through the Unity traditions that were oftentimes, you kind of never knew what the tenets of Unity were because there was so much infiltration of other beautiful truths. So we got to pull them, we got to taste them all. And so I went through, just like you have, so many transformations and transitions, likely, so many ends of the world, that I had to look at who I was. I remember the years. I remember when the computers were taking over in 2000. What was I going to do? Seriously, was concerned about that because I love computers. I love to write on them. They're a good place to escape it. 2012, and I felt the call for that particular time. And I don't know, anyone who's in a creative space or another gets these downloads. Do something with this. Well, what do I do? Write a song. So I started writing a bunch of songs. And then we got through 2012, and then it became, okay, yay, we're through and everything's going to be rosy. Well, kind of had a bumpy road along the way. And as we headed for stay at home, I realized there was another point of a significant and more intense transformation that we seem to be moving through, but it's still under the influence. So out of all of that stuff, I really want to remember things like what I've heard so far, but also things like this. I am designed for perfect health, unwavering abundance, with a host of dimensional tools and powers to live in oneness with all of life. I am destined to fully wake up in my own time in accordance with my free will choices to consciously live in my aligned vibration as a unique frequency in a world that is completely of my own design. I am unlimited. I started singing Sacred Soul right there. I am unlimited, unequivocally loved and cherished, filled with incessant wonder and imagination, fully capable of complete self-care and unconditional love through my self-cleansing and self-repairing energetic bodies. Really? Yeah, that rings true. I've said those words before. We've said them together. And I don't know if they've been said between the time that we said them and now. So for me, this is the kind of stuff that the moments are made of. Because I want to undo what is considered the doctrine of limitations, as they call it. And I started making a list. And I was going to be overly dramatic with it. But I couldn't find any tape to tape all the pages together so that I could flow it out. And the whole list would be there. So all I got is 4 pages of programming. And it makes me sad to know that I'm still under the influence of many of these things. And this is just a starting list. How many personal things have we been told? When the beauty of who we are was just innocent and in the moment and wanting to experience the wholeness. So be it. So be it. But there comes a point, and that's why I said choice. We choose between the design or we choose between the program, and often they're like this. But these days, and the work that each of you has done to contribute not only to your experience, but to the whole of the planet and beyond, has created these separations. And of course things are going to fall apart because they've been held together by sticks, glue, and poor intentions and woundings. So be it. We rediscover the power of now, the power of this moment to determine the next moment. My future is not down the road because every time I go there, I do what ifs. And usually it's crap. I'll look at those and I'll say, well, what if this happens? Well, I have this beautiful vision, but what if this gets in the way and all that? And I have to say, sit down and be quiet. Or something else to get the attention of that part of me. I know, and I used to have allegiance to the past. I used to be able to call forth my woundings and put them out on the ground and champion them and do these kinds of things. And this one is a little hard for me to say because we were walking in. And I remember the beginnings of this for you guys. And the day in the Sunday service where I'm up at the piano and all of a sudden half the congregation gets up and they walk out of the room. Hallelujah, it was a revolution. But for me at the piano, I'm going, what the fuck? I hope that didn't come through, but that was what's happening. Okay, I felt like the Titanic was going down and I just had to keep playing. Because in a way, it was. But what a magnificent birth, because right now we're standing in a room as a congregation and it's still alive and it's still happening. And what happened in the other place? Well, for the church burned down for one thing. Things needed to change. The template was being recalled and the authenticity of what has happened here has been a fabulous gift. And someone has to hold the space. So I look at the room, and this place ought to be jammed and people pushing to get in here to hear the magnificence of who they are. But there's loyalty to the way it was. So be it for now. So then I call upon those who are here, because you're here. It is your responsibility to really just be you, to be your template, to be your design. acknowledge all the stuff that comes along. Yeah, I remember when I used to run from that. But now I stand in it. I see all the beauty in it, as well as I feel what it is. This is our opportunity. Number 50 in the Doctrine of Limitations. It's so fun. Promise anything to get what you want. Oh, yeah, I've done that. Been there. People are born with limitations and flaws. You got to be normal. However, normal is changing every 5 minutes. But you got to be there if you want to be accepted. If you do as you're told, there will be consequences. Spirituality and money are incompatible. War is necessary. You can go on and on. Every one of those statements, it gets, you feel it temporarily. But we don't subscribe to them anymore if we choose. And in my understanding of the spiral of evolution and my own process of release, I'm going to come back and revisit everything that I said I'm done with. Because it's kind of going to go, are you really done with that? Let's see. So I'm in a higher frequency and I get it again, and I go, oh, God, okay, I do have a choice. Comes around again, and I say, I see you. And it comes around again, and eventually I don't even notice it. Because I'm no longer energetically pulled, and the woundings, which means the energy that was attached to it, is no longer there trying to free, because it got freed. It got freed from these things, by writing a song, by standing in the presence of people of higher frequency, because that's what you are. And of course you have a choice. I love being lower frequency now and then. I was a school teacher. I am so over-prepared. I am so over-prepared. So much so that I can't even find the notes that I thought I was going to use. But nevertheless, there were some songs created in the 2012 time. And it looks like one of them just literally disappeared. The one I was intending to do. There we go. So where were you on August 19th of 2012? Into this world, we came with everything we ever need to make our way back to light and love. We came alone, lost and we lost our way. This earthly dream, it blanks the memory of the way back home. And we drifted on and on and on through the waters of experience. We gathered up those wounds and held the energy inside these precious beings. So blessed, so beautiful, so filled with lies. We could not see what was right inside. Then came a spark, a divine memory that stirred the soul. It woke the heart, and the hand reached out, and a pulse went on and on and on through the reaches of the universe. It was that desperate call that Source had waited for so long. so long. Yes, and all the light of the universe was focused right upon the earth. The wave of love swept humankind to cleanse darkness from the mind. And everyone upon this earth, each blessed by grace, in new birth, right out of desperation's grave, the future for us all saved, yes. Such a beautiful day, such a beautiful day. Now here we are, we've been reclaimed by grace. Another chance to build this world we were made for. So stand in your truth and feel this mighty earth. Let the power rise into your heart. Now just let it go. And give it on and on and on throughout your universe. All you have to know is love is what you are, through and through, through and through. And all the light of this universe, it's focused now upon this earth to cleanse our hearts in love divine, reborn each day with awakened minds. And everyone upon this earth will finally know their gifts, their worth. And in a world where wonders reigns, we'll remember who we are again. Such a beautiful day, such a beautiful day. Don't you worry about anything. Don't you worry about life. Don't worry about the forms of your moments, 'cause everything is alright. Don't you worry about anything. Don't you worry about life. Don't worry about the forms of your moments, 'cause everything is alright. I won't worry about anything. Come on, I won't worry about life. I won't worry about life. The forms of mine, I won't worry about the forms of my moments, 'cause everything is alright. I won't worry about anything. I won't worry about life. I won't worry about the forms of my moments, 'cause everything is alright. Yes, everything is alright. Everything is alright. Into the world we came with everything we ever need to make our way back to light and love. So let that sit. It's just a call. You know the call. So the moment gives choice. What are you gonna do? Ain't no wrong choice. It just ain't no wrong choice. It is what it is. I make it, I see what happens, I go, I reevaluate, make another choice. There's none of this. Make the right choice. Shut up. How many times did I want to say shut up to the stuff that was coming on? Or even more intense language. Yeah. I remember it's probably revealing too much, but I used to travel with a Hay House author, and he was Sonia Choquette, and we were out doing high spiritual work and everything. And we get done with these workshops, just blessing and raising people up. And then we go have wine. And then we cuss and all kinds of stuff just to get back in the body and bless all of that, but just find our way back so that we can feel again. Because yay. But how many people do you know, and perhaps part of your journey has been, where you just spent time up here bitching? It's so good, so good. Oh, this is going on. I know people that stuff starts to happen in the body, just sensations, and they get freaked out. That's part of number 77 here on the Doctrine of Meditation. Okay. It is what it is, and you are who you are, and you always have been. And these are the times from, according to that song, the blessing of the universe is that we are being fed and reminded and hugely supported to reclaim the true frequency. So get out of the way. But don't leave, just embrace it and walk with it. And that's what we're being asked to do. And that happens by showing up to your moments like today. You showed up. It's a beautiful day. Every other 20 miles out there, I wanted to go do something with that and be in that frequency. And some did. I'm making note of the ones that I know that didn't show it. So, in the spirit of over preparing, and knowing that Brian's got the clock on me, and thank you, by the way. I came like a good teacher with handouts. All right. So there's something that I want us to do. Sir, would you be the paper monitor here?
Okay. You want one?
I probably ought to have. No, I've got one right there. It's stuff to do
Thank you, sir.
away from here. But there are a couple things we're going to do right now. But after I do this song, so the danger of handouts is that immediately you lose everyone. They're all reading what's going on there, and then no one's looking at me. But that's okay, because this is the perfect time. All right, so I'm going to do one tune here that I believe will get us in the mood, and then we're going to make a declaration together. All right. Well, last night the sky had opened, clouds rained to sound, the lightning in the heavens, the rain poured down, the torrent washed, purified, swept the past away, and my, was all the people could say. The future's coming, she's at the edge of town, and if you ever thought of changing, it's a good time now. Well, this is unprecedented, there's never been a time. The old ways are breaking, the patriarch declines. The holy light is pouring in, the wall is tumbling down. My, how much good will you allow? The future, she's coming, at the edge of town. And if you ever thought of changing, come on, it's a good time now. Well, boom, 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 the earth is shaking. And boom, 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 don't wait around. Boom, 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 there's no more faking it. I say yes, 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 yeah. Next time you'll answer me on the yes. That's a huge commitment. Right? Well, now the picture's getting clearer. It's balance, peace, and love, and all that doesn't resonate will get the holy shove. The colors there are brighter, there's newness in the air. When all the hearts open, the minds will be repaired. The future's coming, she's at the edge of town, and if you ever thought of changing, it's a good time now. I say, boom, 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 the earth is shaking. Whoa. don't wait around. Come on, boom, boom. Boom, 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 there's no more faking it. Well, I'll say yes, 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 yes. I'm gonna do that again. That was fun. Boom, 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 the earth is shaking. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 don't wait around. Boom, 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 there's no more faking it. Well, I'll say yes, 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 yes. There ain't nowhere to go unless you're checking out. There ain't no way to hide from who we are. Reclaim yourself, jump into the fire of love. Well, this is a transformation, we all are glory bound. This is a resurrection, we're reborn in, reborn in, reborn in, reborn in, reborn, reborn in. Come on, boom, boom. Well, boom, 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 the earth is shaking. Boom, 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 don't wait around. Boom, 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 there's no more faking it. Come on now. Yes, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. So last night, the sky had opened, clouds made a sound. The lightning lit the heavens, the rain poured down. The torrent washed, purified, and swept the past away. And my, was all the people could say. The future, she's coming at the edge of town. And if you ever thought of changing, you ever thought of changing, you ever thought of changing, it's a good time now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Please refer to your handout now. All these statements at the beginning there, they're put. As you know, you can make them all yourself. Practice speaking out loud, because when you speak it out loud, you know principle. It calls forth the energy to support the intention. No sense in just letting it run around in the mind. That's an old trap. That's number 63 on the Doctrine of Limitations. No, it's not. I just made that up. But it ought to be. So turn it over, the very last thing there. And we may have done this before, but we're doing it together without the call and response thing. Way down at the bottom it says, let's set an intention in motion as we speak the affirmative and intentional proclamation out loud 7 times. We're just going to do it once. On your own time, the invitation. 5 weeks to change a habit? I'd be doing this thing 3 times a day for 5 weeks. Why not? You can do it when you're eating your cereal. You can do it when you're driving. Well, you could. Anyway, so I'm going to say I, and then I invite you to speak your whole name. My name is Mark Stanton Welch. That contains my template, my design. So I ask people to go back to the birth name. Your birth name holds the frequency of what you incarnated with. Really? More on that at some other time. Okay, so I would say, I, Mark Stanton Welch, now fully remember. So let's do this together. So I invite you first to take a breath. Be aware of your connection with the earth, with 1 foot, 2 feet, just your bottom of the chair. Whatever that is, become aware of the physical, because this needs to go to the cells. That's where the memory gets played out and the action gets taken. So, with a breath, I, Mark Stanton Welch, now fully remember my point of incarnation into this life. I easily recall my purpose, my desires, my learnings, my yearnings, my work, my relationships, my past lives. I invite and embrace my expanded state of knowing how this universe works, my relationship with Source, my expanded senses and capabilities, my multidimensional selves, my guides, teachers, and etheric beings, my skills and talents. I know that any time I can revisit that entry point and set new intentions that will be made manifest in my current life. I celebrate the ongoing flow and continuity of my I am that I am expressing as me, and completely support my soul's unique journey in this human physical body with unconditional love, compassion, and empathy. In this flow, I allow life to feed me and bring forth a grand adventure that births the whole of me in all my moments. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. All this or something more magnificent. How'd they do?
Great.
No, I'm just saying.
Time wise.
All right, good. So, don't need to do a song here because it's time to move to something else. That was my allotment.
I said this was a beautiful ending. That works for you.
Oh, fine, God, okay.
Hey, Mark, do the song.
It's like a 12-minute song. Right? Long, long time ago. Oh, here's one we can do together. I was going to do a song called Beliefs about how we're invested in beliefs and how we hold and hold, and then the next thing comes along, we change and change. And I wanted to do an exercise about just laying it down. And it was going to use this little chant song. So I invite you right now, just anything that you're done with in your life, that's on the brink of you letting go, whether it's an idea that keeps recycling, whether it's a way of doing things, whether it's a pile of something in the corner, symbolically or actually. You decide. Because with intention, we can lay something down and create the separation. Just like that. So as you hold it in mind, I'm just going to sing this behind you. And once you've laid it into the ground where the earth goes, bring it on, give it to me. I'll do this, then we'll join it together. I ain't gonna carry that load no more. I ain't gonna carry that load. I'm gonna take that pain, lay it down, 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 down. I ain't gonna carry that load no more. I ain't gonna carry that load. I let it go. Okay, at some point, either symbolically or actually, I always love involving the body, so if I was going to lay something down, I would stop what I'm doing and I'd put it on the earth. But hey, that's just me, so you choose to do what you do. But do something perhaps a little different, especially if you feel some discomfort. So I'm going to take a breath and then we can do this tune together. But we're going to say stuff instead of him. That includes everything. I ain't gonna carry that stuff no more. I ain't gonna carry that stuff. I take that stuff, I lay it down, 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 down. I ain't gonna carry that stuff no more. I ain't gonna carry that stuff. I let go. I let go. 2 more times. I ain't gonna carry that stuff no more. I ain't gonna carry that stuff. I'm gonna take that stuff, I'll lay it down, 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 down. I ain't gonna carry that stuff no more. I ain't gonna carry that stuff as I let it go. I let it go. Now this time we're just going to add the thing where we've actually done it. So we go, I ain't gonna carry that stuff no more. I ain't gonna carry that stuff. I take that stuff, I lay it down, 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 down. I ain't gonna carry that stuff no more. I ain't gonna carry that stuff. outside, inside, just speak your true name. Call that template into action. Bring that little child home so they go, yay, we're back. You do that. And then I'll do just a piece of shameless self-promotion as I fade away. So I stayed up late last night and put together what I'm calling the 2024 Heart Self-Care Kit. The self-care kit contains it's a flash drive filled with 4 CDs that have to do with what we talked about today. 4 books, oh my God, really 4 books, complete books, yes, they're in there, and a whole bunch of other writings that will support the frequency. If that speaks to you and you have the weight to open these things up on a flash drive, USB, come visit me afterwards. Otherwise, I celebrate you being you from this point forward without hesitation, because the choice has been made. Amen.
Amen.